Think you're the only one who deals with ghosting? Think again. Today, just to prove it happens to everyone, I'm going to tell you the worst ghosting story of my dating life and how I responded to it. Don't forget to download the first chapter of my book from the description below, hit the subscribe button with the little bell, and I'll see you on the other side of this. I want this to be an open, authentic channel, and I thought today to help that I would give you a story from my own vault about the worst ghosting experience of my dating life. I haven't seen other coaches do this, and I thought it'd be cool for you to hear to show it happens to everyone. So the story begins at a place called Toowoomba. Now, Toowoomba is not the city I live in. It's a city that's about 130 miles west of where I live, and it has a little bit of a reputation here in Queensland. I was invited out there by Bad Boys Australia, and they said, hey, would you like to do a show? Would you like to do a strip show? So I head out to Toowoomba and we do the show. Show goes well, got my kid off successfully, talked to some audience members, and then head back out. I pack up my things in this big duffel bag, throw the duffel bag over my shoulder, and to be honest, I'm pretty tired. I'm ready to be done by 10:30. Heading towards the door where the other fellas are waiting and they're sort of mingling, doing their thing. We're all getting ready to go. And I thought, no, you know what? Before I leave, I'll say thank you to the DJ. So I head over and I head through this VIP booth, and there's a couple of people waiting to talk to the DJ. So I stop kind of in a semi-queue thing. And I'm standing there and I turn to my left and there is an absolute bombshell standing next to me. For the sake of the story, we'll call her Elle. And I got chatting to Elle. Her energy was absolutely intoxicating. In fact, I've never, even to this day, I've never felt this sort of chemistry on meeting someone. You know, I'm not really big for the whole love at first sight thing. That's not my thing. But in terms of chemistry at first sight, this was off the charts. Within a few minutes, I asked her if she was single. She was. And I knew then I'm not going home, at least yet, with the fellas. So I tell the fellas to take off and I invite Elle to sit in the booth with me. And the chemistry only got better from there. So she told me a really cool story about how she got out of a previous bad relationship and how she had to pull her standards and stuff together. Pretty soon we kissed, and she was a phenomenal kisser. I'm an absolute sucker for good kisses, and she was one of the best. And you know, we're getting closer and closer together, and the night's going brilliantly. Pretty soon, it's after 11, and I said, look, let's get out of here. Do you want to come with me? She said, yeah, right, let's head out and see how things happen. We end up heading back to the hotel, and we shared an incredibly passionate, beautiful night together. Kind of the falling asleep in each other's arms, all the chemistry, all the things. It was beautiful. Head back the next morning. Her mum was actually in town. I didn't obviously meet her mum, but her mum was in town, so she ended up heading back to her mum's hotel, and she caught a cab and I drove myself home. Within half an hour, she'd sent me a kiss emoji. I reciprocated, and from there the contact basically continued. Now, one thing I didn't mention, she was not from Toowoomba either. She was actually from Melbourne. So it was a guy from Brisbane, 130 miles away, and a woman from Melbourne, 1,500 miles away, meeting in a third city. So she flew back, she had a job down there. Interestingly though, she actually had a job where she flew around the country pretty regularly. And during that night we spent together, or the next morning, we were already so excited for this connection that we'd found. We were planning to when we're next going to see each other. And in fact, she was up in about 4 weeks' time, so we were already getting excited for this. The texting begins, and it goes in both directions. I can't stop thinking about that night. Can't stop thinking about the way you made me feel. Can't believe I've met someone who feels like such an equal to me. It was just, the chemistry was on fire. And this continued spectacularly for the next couple of weeks. Talking on the phone fairly regularly as well. About 2 weeks before she came, I started to notice little inconsistencies. Never big things, but it was always the same pattern. She would say she was going to do something, then not do it, and then a bit later on apologize and give a really good explanation as to why she didn't do it. It was just little things. And to be honest, I thought I was overthinking them when they happen. The first one, she's like, hey, I'm heading out. I'll send you a photo of my dress or whatever she was wearing. I thought, yep, great, can't wait to see it. And then the photo never came. I thought, okay, well, that's weird. I guess she could be hooking up with someone else. That's cool. She's allowed to do that. But instead of doing that, at the end of the night, I'd get a text, hey, sorry I didn't text you earlier. It was such a big night. Lying in bed, can't stop thinking about you. Can't wait to see you. The dip, and then the big rise. This happened a couple more times, just little things. I remember we were on the phone once and she said, hey, I've got to call my friend. I'll give you a call back a bit later. Call back didn't come. And then later she'd go, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't call you back. My friend had to do this big talk. It always seemed like a reasonable reason. One other time I remember she said, hey, I'll call you this evening. Didn't call. And I said, that was when I called her on. I said, hey, look, like, if you're not going to call, that's fine. Just don't say you are. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. A massive thing fell down at work. I almost lost my job. And I was like, oh, and I felt like the bad person because I'm going, wow, I put too much pressure on this situation. Anyway, I had these slight nagging doubts. And she comes to visit. And I was so high on dopamine at the time, I can remember freaking every detail of driving to pick her up. And the moment she got in the car, all my doubts about her vanished. The chemistry was ridiculous again. She seemed so enthusiastic to see me. She was talking about how much she'd been looking forward to it. And we basically spent the next 3 days straight together. So we had to work a little bit in this time, but somehow we'd managed to kind of coordinate our schedules such that work was pretty minimal, and we went on multiple dates throughout this time, just got along better and better. And I remember thinking to myself, you've got to stop doubting this, Mark. As I drove her back to the airport on the way home, her next visit wouldn't be for 5 or 6 weeks. As I drove her back to the airport on the way home, I remember thinking, she is so strong in person. You know, this chemistry is so strong. She is so genuine and authentic and open to you in person. You know, if she is seeing other people, there's no way she's serious about them. She is just so into you. You know, everything I knew about body language and words and vulnerability, it was all consistently communicating the same thing. And I remember I thought to myself, as I drove her to the airport, I said, remember this if she does get a bit useless again with her texting. Because this was real, and whatever weird flakiness might be happening over texting, this is, you know, don't doubt this again, Mark. And I continued with that mindset. She flew back to Melbourne, and I went back to doing our own thing. And the pattern basically continued. She was, again, very warm over text with these weird occasional things where she'd say she was going to do something, not do it, and then have a genuine apology and a great reason for not doing it later. Some stuff went down with her. She was a little bit stressful, and this sort of happened about a week before she was set to come up and visit for the second time. This time she'd be up for 5 days, and we'd scheduled in about 2 or 3 of those to see each other, while she had a bit of family up here on the Gold Coast to see on those other days. So I'm excited for her to come. She seems very excited to come, and she's sending me texts, I can't wait to see you, been looking forward to this, all these things the week before. And I'm of course reciprocating, can't wait to see you too. So she flies up on the Friday. And I thought it was a little odd that she didn't message me when she arrived. Maybe that's just the way she is. I know when on arrival at the airport, would be excitedly messaging the person that I'm there for. So I thought that was a little odd. And later that evening, again, a beautiful text comes through. She said, hey, just spent the whole night with my family, having such a wonderful night. Can't stop thinking about the way you make me feel and can't wait to see you. Again, doubts were quelled. I assumed I was overthinking things, and I was excited to see her the next day, where we'd organised to meet without yet setting an exact time, but we sort of said mid to late morning, possibly around the middle of the day. So I head down to the Gold Coast, which is about an hour drive, to go for a meeting. I was actually with the guy behind the camera. I was with Maddie, and I had a meeting with him, and then I was set to meet Elle afterwards. I finished up with Maddie about 11 and hadn't heard from her. I thought, geez, not this again. Sent her a text, hey, how you doing? And then gave her a quick call, and she didn't pick up. The phone rang out. So now I'm going, what is happening here? And I wasn't sure what to do. Do I drive back an hour to Brisbane and then have to drive back down again? That would be annoying. Or do I sit here and wait for her? That was annoying too. I'm just going, why can't this woman communicate? And so in the end, I decided, all right, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to go to the library. So I went to the library and got some work done. That was a pretty good decision. And again, about an hour later, she messages, and I think she called at that point. She said, hey, I'm so sorry I missed your call. I was out at lunch. Can't wait to see you. Are you free now or soon? And I'm like, all right, I guess she's keen again. So I head over, and again, as I'm on my way, she texts, can't wait to see you, kiss emoji. I'm going, all right, well, she seems enthusiastic. Maybe I'm just imagining all this terrible communication again. We catch up, and she's warm. Perhaps not quite as warm as she was the last weekend, but warm into me. We go on a date, we head around Time Zone, have an arcade, have a bunch of fun there. And then we head down to the beach. We're taking couple photos. And I say to her, okay, so what's plans for the next few days? And she says, okay, look, I've had something come up for tonight, and I hate doing this to you. And I'm thinking, all right, here we go. She says, I have a friend who's up here that I haven't seen since grade 10, and she's leaving the coast tomorrow. Would you hate me if I had dinner with her and saw you instead on Sunday night and we can spend that night down here? And look, I'd be lying to say I wasn't disappointed, but again, her reasoning was perfectly reasonable. I had no reason to suspect she was seeing another guy up here, because she didn't even live up here, and wanting to catch up with an old friend is perfectly reasonable. So I said, yep, no, you should catch up with your friend. That's cool. We can spend that night together. So I walked her back to a hotel after this date. I said, all right, I'm going to bail. And she said, no, I want to walk you back to your car. I said, that's really not necessary. She says, no, I want to walk you back to your car. I said, all right. We walked back to our car and we kissed goodbye. She said, I can't wait to see you again. And I said, I can't wait to see you too. But I had this sinking freaking feeling at this stage. I drive off, she waves me off. And that was the last time I ever saw her. Now the contact did continue. She actually texted that night, making sure I made it okay. So she was obviously thinking about it. And then I didn't actually get that text till the next morning, and I texted, yeah, thanks, got home all good. I actually had some good news. I got a new client that morning, so I was really excited and texted her. She didn't get back to me at all that day. And at this point, I kind of knew things were in trouble. I got a text from her the next day where she said, hey, I'm so sorry. I went down to Byron Bay last night, spent some time down there, didn't take my charger with me. I've been having a think, and because she was staying with her family, and she said, I've been having a think, it's probably best if you and the fam don't meet quite yet. I hope that's okay, and I hope you don't hate me. I'm still looking forward to chatting, and I hope you have an amazing day. And obviously I was disappointed, but I understood, and I said, yep, it's totally up to you. I really do hope that we get to keep chatting. I'm really enjoying connecting with you. And again, didn't respond till the next day. At this point, she'd caught her flight home, and I'm going, what the hell, man? What happened here? And she texts me, she says, hey, I made it back to Sydney, all well. I'm so sorry. I've been so useless the past few days. Going to give you a call tomorrow, let you know what's been happening. I said, great. Thank you for apologizing, because now I knew I wasn't imagining it. I said, great. Thank you so much for apologizing. Looking forward to chatting tomorrow and hearing all about it. And I never heard from her again. The dating coach had been ghosted. And to be honest with you, this hit me pretty hard. Harder than I cared to admit. I cried over it more than once. And the addictive pattern of the on in person and off when not, plus the signals where she seemed so warm, even the night she arrived on the Gold Coast, completely threw me. I just didn't see this one coming at all. And arguably I could have chased her up, but I want someone who's motivated to come to me, motivated to be in my life, and if they stuff up, I want them motivated to explain themselves. And I'm not going to keep giving someone attention who doesn't give attention back to me. In hindsight, I probably should have seen some of the early red flags, some of the earlier consistencies. But I didn't, and I got overly emotionally invested and pretty badly ghosted. Now, this is important. This is really important. I will be deleting any negative comments towards her at the bottom of the video, because this is not about any negativity towards her. In fact, I think she was a phenomenal, amazing woman, and I think probably some stuff came up for her, probably around an ex that wanted things back together, I suspect. It doesn't matter. It's speculation. The point is, I'm sure she had her own fears and things that went on with her, and that she didn't intend to cause any hurt in the situation. So I will be deleting any negative comments towards her, and I still think she's an amazing woman, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for the beautiful, albeit short, time that we had together. The point of this video is simply to prove that this happens to everyone. And if I let this ghosting, cause resentment towards women in the same way that many women let a ghosting cause resentment towards men, it's going to create a negative experience for all of us. So that was my reason for not following up from her. I expected her to stick to her word. She didn't, and it told me what I needed to know. Elle was struggling with some sort of fears and insecurities that she obviously couldn't communicate for whatever reason, and it's not because she was a horrible person. Men aren't horrible people either, and when they do this, they're struggling with their own fears and insecurities that, unfortunately, they're not able to communicate to you. It's just a signal that they weren't right for you, and that the next one, who isn't going to ghost you, is waiting just around the corner. Well, that's the video. That is the worst ghosting story of my life. Took me, as I say, a long time to get over that one, and there's no shame in that at all. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions. As I say, no negativity at all, only positive, grateful comments are here. It's not a woe is me story. It's just to share that this does happen to everyone. You're not alone, and that I know exactly where you've been. Hit the subscribe button with the little bell if you enjoyed this story. Hit the thumbs up as well, and make sure you download the first chapter of my book. Thanks again for watching and listening to my story. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.
You always make me